1 week into the 2024 NFL season, and the Packers, they're 0-1. Should we panic or not? It wasn't the start the Packers were looking for. In fact, the ending of the opener in Brazil wasn't what the fans were looking for either. Not only did the Packers lose a close game to the Philadelphia Eagles 34-29, the Packers lost their starting quarterback for a few weeks. Jordan Love was injured with 30 seconds left in the game, trying to lead the Packers on a game-winning drive. Love suffered a sprained MCL, which will take 3 to 4 weeks to heal. At least we could look on the bright side though. The injury isn't season-ending. Besides, the Packers had some good, some bad, and some ugly during their season opener. Let's start off with the good. Jayden Reed was an absolute beast against the Eagles. He was the leading receiver for the Packers with 4 receptions for 138 yards and 1 touchdown. Reed also had 1 touchdown on the ground as well, a 33-yard run. He would have had another touchdown if it wasn't called back by a penalty. We'll get to that later. Reed has shown he could be the guy who takes that year 2 jump. His speed and big play ability is something to look out for throughout the season. Look for him to continue to be a threat in the receiving game, especially with Love out. Talk about a debut. Xavier McKinney showed why the Packers signed him to a big-time free agent deal. McKinney got his first interception as a Packer in the first quarter, intercepting Jalen Hurts on 3rd and long. He was one of the few Packers stars on defense that stepped up in an otherwise ugly game by the defense. McKinney continues to impress not only Packers fans, but the Packers in general. He'll be a mainstay in Green Bay for years to come. I know what you're thinking. Josh Jacobs could easily go on the bad or even ugly section of this video. But after a slow start, Jacobs was able to find his rhythm and finish the game with 16 carries for 84 yards. His longest run was a 32-yard run early in the 4th quarter that set up a Packers field goal. Jacobs also had 2 receptions for 20 yards. His performance, especially towards the end of the game, gave the Packers some hope that Jacobs can return to his 2022 form. They will rely on Jacobs heavily the next couple of weeks as the signal callers for the Packers is out. Now, on to the bad. Let's start out with the Packers offense. Although they were able to score points, their 3rd down efficiency wasn't very good. The Packers were 3 for 11 on 3rd down, or a very clumsy and dumb and not very great percentage rate of 33%. The Packers offense had multiple chances to put up points in the first quarter. The defense forced 2 turnovers, and the offense got the ball deep in the opposing team's territory. But instead, the offense settled for field goals, leading to a 6-0 lead early in the first quarter. It could have been 14-0 or 10-0 if the offense were able to convert their 3rd downs. Don't worry guys, I didn't forget about the defense. They won't get away with this one. While the defense looked impressive at times, forcing turnovers, the debut of Jeff Hafley's 4-3 defense was less than stellar. The defense allowed 410 yards of total offense, 266 of which were through the air. Even the Packers' top corner, Jair Alexander, couldn't find an answer to stop A.J. Brown. Brown himself had a game, with 5 receptions for 119 yards and 1 touchdown. And while the Packers were able to stop Jalen Hurts from hurting them on the ground, they couldn't stop Saquon Barkley and his huge quads. Speaking of that, I wish I had quads like Saquon Barkley. Maybe I should just work on my legs more and add another leg day to my workout.
3 hours later.
Barkley ran all over the Packers with 109 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns. And now, the ugliest part of this video. And no, I'm not talking about my face. The Packers look like a team that was playing in their first regular season game of the season. The Packers in total had 10 penalties for 71 yards. One of those penalties proved costly, denying Jaden Reed of a touchdown early in the first quarter. The Eagles themselves had 7 penalties for 57 yards. So sloppy performances by both teams. And speaking of sloppy, the defense's tackling? Horrendous. Ugly enough that your own mother would be disgusted. There were so many missed tackles that by the time the game ended, I lost count. And it's hard for me to lose count. I'm really good at math. Look at me. Lastly, the field in Brazil can also get a medal for being possibly the most slippery field I've ever seen in a football game. Both teams struggled with their footing, and they looked like they were on ice, like they were in hockey. Overall, an ugly taste in the Packers' mouths to open up the season. I bet you fans will also have that taste in your mouth as well. But there are some positives to go along with some negatives that the team will need to work on before their home opener against the Colts. And that's all for week 1 of the NFL season. As always, you can follow me on X at HowKong, or follow me and the Packers Talk crew at PackersTalk.com. Until next time, see you later, and as always, go Pack Go.